Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this pop-up gift card box. The belly band slides off and the box opens to reveal inside a gift card and a bar of chocolate. Such a lovely idea. Gift card just comes out, pops in, nice and easy, and then the belly band goes on. The idea is from a lady called Brenda Quintana. Her website is QB's Quest. I'll put the full name on the screen and also in the box below so you can check Brenda out. She does do some super videos. Okay, so I'll start off with the card pieces we're going to need first of all. I'm using cherry cobbler. And I'm also going to do a different decoration. I'm not going to do that on this one. I've done two others. I'll show you the decorations that I did on those. They're all different. Right, so the card pieces that you're going to need. This is cherry cobbler and it measures 9 inches by 7 inches, which is 22.8 by 17.7 centimetres. You need another piece of cherry cobbler which measures 7 inches by 5 inches, which is 7.7 by 12.7 centimetres. A piece for the belly band which measures 11.5 inches by 1.25 inch, which is 29.2 centimetres by 3.2 centimetres. So far what I've been doing with all the belly bands is I've just been folding them around the box, but as you know I don't like cardstock that's just been folded. I think it looks a lot neater if you've actually scored it. So I have worked out where the score line should be on here, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. If it doesn't work, I've got another one here that I will use and just fold it around like I've been doing the others. But I'm going to try and score this one. Right, then you need some very vanilla, and this piece measures 4 7/8 inches by 2 7/8, which is 12.3 centimetres by 7.3 centimetres. Then you need two pieces that measure 4 7/8 inches by 2 1/8, which is 12.3 centimetres by 5.4 centimetres. And then you need some designer series paper, and this is called This Christmas. You need one piece that measures 4 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, which is 12 by 7 centimetres. Then you need two pieces that measure 4 3/4 inches by 2 inches, which is 12 by 5.1 centimetres. And then you need some scraps for your decorations. So the first thing I'm going to do is the scoring. So I'll bring my scoreboard back up. Back up is because this is the second take for this one. Right, so my first piece, I'm going to put it in landscape. I'll score with the inches first, and then I'll tell you the centimetres. In fact, let me just go over this with my piece of wax paper. Right, so first of all, 1 inch, then 4 inches, 5 inches, 8 inches. In centimetres, that is 2.5, 10.1, 12.7 and 20.3. And then turn 90 degrees and score at 1 inch, which is 2.5 centimetres. Turn it 180 degrees and score at 1 inch, which is 2.5 centimetres again. Okay, so there's that one. And then the next piece, which is your 7 by 5 piece, again put it in landscape and score this one at 2 1/4 inches. I'll come back and do the centimetres in a moment. 2 1/4 inches, 3.5 inches and 4 3/4 inches, which is 5.7 centimetres, 8.8 centimetres and 12 centimetres. So that's all we need on that one. Now hopefully, if I've done this right, this needs to be scored at 2 1/8 and 3 1/4, which is 5.4 and 8.2 centimetres, and then flip it 180 degrees and score again at 2 1/8 and 3 1/4, which is 5.4 centimetres and 8.2 centimetres. Okay, hopefully that one is going to work. Right, now first piece we're going to do is our large piece, and we need our scissors. Now what we're going to do with this first, where's my paper piercer? That's really useful to indicate what I'm, oh here we go, I got it, what I'm planning to do. Right, now the score lines on here are all the same, okay, you've got an inch band there and you've got an inch band this end, so it really doesn't matter which end you're talking about. But one end you're going to cut on these two lines here, that one and that one, and then the other ones you're going to do on the sides, those three, and then those three down there. Okay, I don't know why these are done this way and those sideways, but it works beautifully like this, so I will do the same, do as I'm told. Okay, so that's a straight line on that side, and then on this side mitre it. Okay, it's a straight line against the side of your box, but a mitre on the side of the tab. Okay, so that's the end ones done. Now we're going to do the side by the side of the box, which is that one, straight, and the one on the tab mitered. Again, side of the box, straight line, on the tab mitre. Last one, straight on the side of the box, mitre on the tab. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so that's those. Now we can fold on all our score lines and use our bone folder to get some nice crisp creases. And as always, make sure your score lines line up, your edges line up as well. If they don't line up, if they go wonky, your box is going to be wonky as well, which we don't want. Now turn to the sides. keep on checking all the way as you're going. Make sure everything is all lining up beautifully. Right, now we're going to stick the tabs down. You have a choice for what you use. I'm obviously going to use my favourite Tombow, but I recommend that you use either the Tombow or the fast fuse, because you need something that is really very, very strong. Okay, so we're going to fold all your tabs inwards, and we're going to put glue on all of them. Okay, so if you're with me, Tombow, then round all four sides and a little bit in the centre. Not too much, otherwise you'll come oozing out on the sides, and you really don't want that at all. Right, so with the ends here that we cut in the different direction, that's going to be our lid. Okay, so we do that bit first, and I find this easier just to keep it sitting on my table, and I've just put glue on there, haven't I? Not to worry, because I'll be putting a bit on there, won't I? Yes, I will. Right, okay, so I find it easier just to stand these pieces up and then make sure that I've got a nice straight corner there. Okay. Yes, you can see that's straight. And then do this one. Turn around to the other end, and first of all I'm going to do these two. Okay, nice square corners. Now for this one, I find it easier just to fold that lid back a bit so that I can get this tab up and get it adhered into place. Okay, and then I come round to this side, keep the lid out of the way, and then get myself a nice straight corner here. And I always do this. This is the fourth one I've done, and each one I have forgotten to punch the finger tab in there. Ideally I wanted to use this 3/4 of an inch, but if I forget I have to use the 1 inch. It's not the end of the world. It's just that with the 3/4 of an inch you can't get it very far in here, but with the 1 inch it's a lot easier. So what I do is very, very carefully open up my box a little bit, and see how I'm stretching this open a bit so that I can get my punch in there. And I'm just trying to make sure that I've got about the same gap here as that end, and you can see how much I'm going to be punching out. That's all it needs, but it's just easier to do it before you put your box together. Okay, so that's the finger tab. I'm not quite sure what the correct name for that is. Well, it's hardly a tab, is it? But you know what I mean. So there we go. There's our box. Opens and closes really nicely. The reason I do a belly band with this is because this is what they call a pizza style box. You have these little bits that tend to flap at the sides like that. Nothing to hold them down. So if you put a belly band on it, nice and tidy. Right, now this piece we are going to fold on our 3 fold lines. We're making sure that this all lines up nice and straight, of course. And I think we do one mountain, one valley, one mountain. But we're going to have to open one anyway and fold it the opposite direction, so it doesn't really matter. Now the easiest way I find of doing this is, if you do it so you've got your paper like that, Now this is the panel we want to work in. Okay, this one here. And what's going to happen is we're going to work on this slit. Okay, so where we're going to be measuring is to tell us where to cut this piece here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a ruler and a pencil. Yes, here's a pencil. And first of all, we're going to measure 1/4 of an inch. Sorry, I've forgotten my metric. So 1/4 of an inch is 0.7 of a centimetre. Just write that down so I don't forget to put it on the screen. Okay, so 1/4 of an inch I'm going to measure in. Say this is about, I don't know, an inch in. So, and what I'm doing is I'm looking at the last part of the crease, because these score lines are, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch wide. I can't count, I start measuring from the very, very edge here, not this side, but this side. It doesn't matter where you do it, as long as when you do the other end, you're in exactly the same position. Okay, so on my last part of the line, which is there, so my 1/4 of an inch, in fact I haven't gone in far enough, have I? Let's move that in again. Now this part with all the pencil marks on is going to be on the inside, so that's not going to be a problem for you. Now if you just draw a line to connect those 2 points, and then the next part you need to do is measure in 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so that's there. And 3/4 of an inch in centimetres is 1.9. So then what we do is fold this in half, okay, and then with the pencil line facing us, we're going to take our decorative label punch, and you see where we have these dips here and the dip here. We're going to line our crease, our fold line on there up with that, and we're going to make sure that this is centre in our paper. Okay, so I've got my pencil mark here. I'm going to put this in here to make sure that that lines up with my fold, and that lines up with my fold. And then, I didn't do my 3/4 of an inch this end, did I? That's because I got distracted because I hadn't done the centimetres of it. So let me just do that. Like that's 3/4 of an inch. So let's try that bit again. Go back, get this, pop this in, line it up with my dips in here, and then make sure you've got the same amount of gap between the edge of the punch and the pencil mark on both sides. And when you're happy you've got that, I'm just going to have to tilt this to make sure that I am straight. That looks right to me. Okay, and then punch. It's a bit more difficult because you've got 2 layers of cardstock there, but it does work. Okay, so you finish up with that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut along our pencil line, and we're going to cut on the left hand side and the right hand side, so we just finish up with a tiny, tiny groove. Okay, like that. That's what you're going to be cutting out now. Oh, that's back to front. So, take my scissors, and I'm bending this backwards so that I can get my scissors in there. And I'm cutting very close to my pencil mark, and I'm going up to the 3/4 inch mark. Then I'm going on the opposite side of that pencil mark up to the 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to pull this through up to the top. Because this is going to be on the inside, if there's going to be a little tab where I cut this off, I'd like it to be on the inside. Okay, you see how much I've done there. So now I'm going to do this end, bend it, get the scissors in, cut on one side of the line up to 3/4 of an inch, and then on the other side of the line again up to 3/4 of an inch. Bring that tab back up through and cut it off this side. Okay, so that's that all done. Now what we need is for the pencil line to go onto the inside, so close that on the inside and then bring these two out, because that's how we're going to be putting it into our box. But you've got to remember that this bit here with these cut lines has got to go towards the lid. Okay, so again I'm going to use Tombow to adhere this in, but you could use fast fuse or tear and tape. In fact, Snail will probably work for this as well. I mean, it's only holding it into place. So here's my box. Just make sure that that goes back nicely. And then that's the front. Okay. And I'm going to fold this back so that I can get this piece. Okay, I want this piece to go in here, and this front edge here, I want it to line up along here. Okay, so while I'm doing that, I don't want this getting stuck down anywhere. So I'm going to put this straight in, right to the edge, and then let it go down. Okay, so just pressing that down. Now with this one, I am going to let it bend forward like that, and I'm going to put this one into the corner right here. Okay, just like that. Just get that to stick down nicely. And then you should have your box. There we go. Got another gift card here. Pop that in there. Got my gift card there. Close it, and there we go. Right, so now we're going to decorate this. And I'm going to use these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere these together. If you're going to, let me just explain this. If you're going to use a stripy pattern like this, when you're cutting your paper, make sure that all your stripes are going in the same direction. What you don't want is to have some stripes like that and some stripes like that. Or maybe you do want them like that. But pay attention so that you can do it whichever way you want it to be done. I like all mine to go in the same direction. Now this, you could use snail or fast fuse or tear and tape, anything. No, you don't stick down yet, you're not in position. have to use my glue eraser on that one. And possibly onto my fingers. Right, let's see if I can get this straight first time. Good, good. And then this one. There we go for that one. Now these two, one I'm going to pop it in there, and I've done it so that I'm still going to have a little bit of cherry cobbler showing around the edge, and the other one's going to be coming in here as well. Okay. So this is the first one. And the second one. That's that one. Sorry, did I get my head in the way then? Oops. And then that one. Oops. There we go. And then this one sits on the top. I haven't done that very well, have I? Let's just pop a little bit more under there. I'll go back and check that later. There we go. Now, my belly band, let's see if this works. Okay, so fold it and make sure it lines up correctly. Now the thing is with this belly band, it is short. It's what I mean is it doesn't go all the way round, and we need to have something to join it together in the centre. Right, let's have a look. That should work beautifully. Way! Right, what I'm going to do in the centre here is I'm going to do 3 of these reindeer. I've done 2 of them, and that's what I intend to do. There's 1, there's 2, and I'm going to do a 3rd one for down here, and this is the one that's going to be holding the the band together. One's not enough, is it? No, definitely needs 3. Okay, so for the 3rd one, I'm going to take the reindeer, and he's from the Cookie Cutter Christmas stamp set. That's this one here. I'm going to stamp him in our basic black archival ink. And I'm going to stamp him upside down because the punch, the legs have to go in first. Let's do it down this way. There we go. And the punch. Okay, that's the cookie cutter punch. Does the Father Christmas and the Eskimo and the gingerbread man, and upside down it does the reindeer. So just line it up. We'll get other shrapnel when you do this. There we go, we don't need all those little bits. And then I used my cherry cobbler marker pen. I coloured his nose. And then these are not a Stampin' Up product, but I do like to give them googly eyes. I'm not sure that's going to work. That looked as if it was quite dried out. But let me remove that bit. It's just like a bit of rubber, isn't it? Let's just put that on a piece of paper that's in the bin. Let's try that again. There we go, that's better. I wish we did do googly eyes. We had them once before and they were really super. They were self-adhesive. I mean, these work, but ours were better. There we go. I think it's better than not having googly eyes. Right, now this is the only tricky bit about doing this, and that is to hold this together, not too tight, and then get this to stick down. So I think it's only going to be the ears, isn't it? In fact, that looks as if it could do with a piece underneath. I know what I punched out earlier on. In fact, if I haven't got it, I know what I can do. I'm going to take a piece of cherry cobbler, and I'm going to use this punch again. I'm going to cut one out. And I'm going to use this to join the two together. And then I can put the, if I do that like that, I get an attractive piece there. In fact, I could put that on the back, couldn't I? That would look quite nice. Should we do that? It doesn't really matter, does it? Which way round it goes. Right, okay, let's try that. So what I'll do is I'll just put some Tombow on here. In fact, let's pop that underneath to see how far I can go with my glue. Because the last thing I want is to get my belly band actually glued to the bottom of my box. Just give that a couple of seconds to get a grip. Oh, that looks as if it will work alright. Better take it right off and try it properly. Okay, let's try that. And when you put the belly band on, it's always easier to come from the front of the box, where you got your little finger cut out, and the reason is for that is because if you try doing it from here, this is where you've got the flaps that are sticking out. There we go. If you wanted, you could put your reindeer on top of that side, but seeing as how that's fitting nicely, I think I'm just going to do mine on here. Oh, I'm pleased that the belly band actually works. There's the one. I'm not putting too much glue on, I'm doing it by his ears, just a bit above and a bit below. And then the third one. And then once I've done this, I'll show you the other ones that I've done. Okay, just make sure that's moving and I haven't put glue in the wrong place. Right, and the other thing that I did was a chocolate bar. And what I did with that was I used some glue dots. Oh, that was upside down. First of all, I'll put my gift card in there. It's empty, but it looks better for the video, doesn't it? Okay, so one glue dot, two glue dots. Make sure that's up the right way and make sure it's centered as it goes in. There we go. Obviously you're a bit restricted of what chocolates you can put in there because as it closes the card comes forward. Okay, so that's that. Let's put this on properly this time. There we go, so there's that one. So the other ones that I've done is this one where I used the owls from Cozy Critters, which is a hostess stamp set, and the inside of that one. Okay, so there's the gift card and the chocolate. And then the other one I used the gingerbread man, which is this one. Okay, so I joined this one with the square and then inside the gift card. Oh, no chocolate in that one. Oh well, never mind. I thought it felt a bit like, oh, there's the chocolate. We can put that one in, can't we? I won't glue it for the time being, but it's there. Pop that one in. And then, of course, the first one that I showed you. And the decoration that I have on this, the bells are from the Seasonal Bells stamp set. And what I did was I stamped the bells, 2 on the cherry cobbler, using basic black archival ink, and then I did 2 on the green. The 2 red ones I punched out with the bell punch, and then I just fussy cut these, well, just cut those 2 bits out by hand and glued them on. And on this one I used the layering oval dies, the scalloped ones, to put those on. But as you can see, these didn't fit very well on here. This fits so much better. Look at that. I am so pleased with that. Really pleased. I'll probably redo that now. I know what I'm like. Right, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. Many thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, please ask. Either send me an email to JanB at JanB Cards or leave a comment in the box below. I'm always happy to help you. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, apart from obviously the chocolate bars, please click on the 24/7 link that's in the box below, and that'll take you straight to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. and I'll put all the products and the measurements on the screen. If you can't see them because of whatever device you're watching the video on, if you click on show more below, that will open up the box and I'll put all the information in there for you. I'll also put the link for Brenda Quintana's blog as well. And finally, if you've enjoyed watching my video and you'd like to see more, if you click on the subscribe button, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video, which is normally every Wednesday and every Sunday. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.